earlier, where Soul has a little bit easier ways to get in quickly, but Kai's a little bit better ways to get in safely. So it's really going to come down to whether or not Mike can find a way past the hit scan, and it's not an easy thing to do.
No, it is not. And like a lot of the and like we were talking about how Soul deals with zoners earlier when like Saftig was fighting Idom, but all that kind of goes away when you have a tracking projectile that hits low profiling options. So you're not really going to be seeing any type of vortexing as a neutral option unless you're already in like that mid range. You will be seeing the Bandit Bringer a little bit because Mike Saftig is crazy. And honestly, you do have to kind of force it in this matchup. Like the problems that Soul has against Testament, like where you kind of have to like jump in a little bit, definitely relevant in this matchup too, because like Happy Chaos also has very strong buttons that cover that low space. We have options like 2K and 2S that cover really well the space in front of Happy Chaos that can make it be pretty difficult for Soul to deal with. And yeah, and that zoning is tough.
Yeah, it's also rough when Happy Chaos has you in the focus shot loop because it's almost impossible to burst, if not actually impossible. If you burst that high up in the air, then they have enough time to relock on and start shooting you again, so it's a bad time. It's pretty much a checkmate situation. That said, if you can get in, we've talked about it time and time again, that Soul damage is absolutely nuts. Happy Chaos has pretty average tankiness, so going down to about 10% already. Steal Doc's phrase, the tempo burst coming out for Mike Saftig, trying to keep the corner pressure going. Doesn't happen, but does manage to find the RC through the clone into the DP to close a round out. I like how Mike Saftig is, like you were saying, forcing it, but like in a smart way.
Yes. I really like the counterplay on clone there. That's definitely one of the only ways you can counterplay clone as an option. A lot of characters have to wait, but if you have a quick option in the mid screen, or if the clone is close enough to you, you can red RC, and the pop-up will hit Happy Chaos if they're not in a blocking state.
No bullets. No bullets for Smitty.
No, yeah, this is not a great situation. Oh, but an amazing 6P to get 2 of those bullets back, but still stuck in this corner. Smitty trying to find a way out right now. Trying to use that 2K, trying to use that 6P. Right now, Mike Saftig is actually just playing around the buttons pretty well. Gonna hold this corner now too, but an amazing jump from Smitty to beat out the Gunflame.
Yep, the Gunflame is able to be jumped over if you're paying attention. DP has been getting a lot of mileage from Mike Saftig so far. Smitty with the PRC to keep himself safe from the approach. Focus coming through with the overdrive. This is really a tough situation for Soul now. You can't burst out of this. This is an execution check. Smitty passes A+. Getting around on Welt.
Yep.
That's a rough situation. There's not a lot you can do as Soul when your Happy Chaos opponent has the concentration regeneration coming through thanks to the overdrive and enough bullets to kind of do whatever he wants.
Yeah, at that point you're just kind of counting the shots. There really is not that much you can do because the combo that Smitty was doing there includes a quick reload, so even if Smitty was to run out of bullets, it'd just be a boom, 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 and yeah, that's just a wrap on the round as it was. Smitty immediately forced to use that burst, but Happy Chaos landing a burst is super advantageous in this matchup because now Soul has to start all over again.
Yeah, and we do see that the nerfs to Happy Chaos in Season 2, where the concentration depletes faster if you're from far away, does incentivize Smitty to get in and start mixing. That does leave Mike Saftig opportunities, like the one he just capitalized on there. And a good bait out in neutral, run up into the wild throw, Mike Saftig taking advantage of every opportunity presented to him.
Amazing stuff all around. Saftig taking that first round pretty emphatically. No burst available for Smitty here, so the first hit could do a massive amount of damage when Mike Saftig can find it, and especially if he has 2 bars of meter to combo with. Oh my goodness. Look at
that combo was sick. I don't think I've seen that route before. That was really cool. YRC to buy some space, but he does still have burst. Mike Saftig has bar though. No bullets for Smitty. Has to use the curse just to get the space to buy a bullet. Going to the RC to bait the burst. Smitty doesn't fall for it. RC drift back into the one little tap into an overdrive. Can't burst out of that confirm.
No, you cannot. Good stuff to Mike Saftig, evening up the set almost immediately. And I think we were talking about this a little bit before bracket. Mike Saftig does apparently have a Happy Chaos, so maybe a little bit more matchup knowledge coming into play for him.
Yeah, that's a very good point. There's no better way to know how to fight another character than playing the character yourself for a little while.
Yep.
I really like the IBFD coming out for Smitty there to buy some space. It forces a whiff out of Mike Saftig, and then running up to bait the DP with a throw. Really solid stuff coming out from Smitty here.
Yep. Oh, and that was a good just FD, but that far slash is advancing. It will still tag you if you try to push the button too quickly. Yeah, here we go. Zoning is starting. Oh, no, it is not. The 6S actually going to just barely make it.
Alright, so I've seen a couple of souls so far today use the gunflame feint into taunt as a frame kill, so apparently that's not spicy, not just spicy at least. Looks like it's also practical. I kinda love that.
Alright, here we go.
The neutral standoff.
Yeah, this is
Soul does have good movement with the Bandit Revolver in the air, but only gets so much done. I like fishing for the 6H. If that hits, it's a hard knockdown, I believe, which means you can approach, try and get a meaty, maybe get a throw, close the round out, but Smitty smelling that, not letting any of that nonsense through.
Oh, yeah, and the just FD on the jump H, super good, and it just instantly kills that mix-up of Mike Saftig trying to go for the low there. But Bandit Bringer just resetting pressure. Smitty going to stop it, but this is going to be a big hit.
We're going to go coast to coast. Happy Chaos can get from wall to wall without too much trouble. Decides to drop. Doesn't need to go for the wall break when you can just reset pressure in the corner. Curse coming through. Allows for that hit scan. We're getting really close to that checkmate scenario. There it is. Smitty has popped the overdrive to get the concentration meter refilling. Curse is still applied. Reapplied. No bullets, though. There it is. Resources are full.
Yeah, now this and this is a really tough situation for Mike Saftig here. Fortunately, not really going to have too many options to deal with this. I love the jump cancel on the clone to be able to block the bullet, but it is not going to be enough. Smitty taking a 2-1 lead here.
And Smitty used the curse throw as a way to basically fake a drift back RC to bait the burst. I really like that awareness. But he has to burst immediately, though, in this round. Mike Saftig getting that resource advantage going quickly. Never mind. The burst gets baited. Smitty gonna carry it. Are we getting a wall break or are we getting a reset? Reset it is.
Oh, and yeah, we're just gonna go right to super here. This might... No, it will not kill, but it is certainly going to chunk, and only one throw or tap from Smitty here will close it out, and Happy Chaos definitely is terrifying mix-up. Yeah, the 2S is just gonna find the hit. And Smitty potentially going to knock Mike Saftig into losers after this round. Mike Saftig trying to round start far slash, but just getting called out with a 6-piece. Smitty playing super well right now.
Yeah, Smitty is really favoring the use resets in the corner instead of going for wall breaks, which is, in my opinion, absolutely the correct play. It's you go for this set play here where you go for wall slump setups. Very, very strong. It means your pressure is repeatable ad nauseum until Mike Saftig finds a way to escape out. Get a cool 75% of your health bar gone in one go.
Oh my
Daggered on the Bandit Revolver means he gets the counter hit. Carrying to the super.
Ooh, okay. Looking pretty good. Mike Saftig trying to take us to a game 5 here. Burst.
I want to see it. This set is great.
Yeah, no, this set has been really good so far. Smitty with burst available has to spend it on that far slash. Does not want to take pressure from Mike Saftig because the next hit will probably end up just forcing the burst anyway because how much damage it would do. But oh yeah, the Bandit Bringer to catch these jump outs to force the pressure once again, and Smitty committing to a throw, but a little bit too high to get a conversion.
Blocks the fast RC mix. Looking for a 6P on the anti-air. Mike Saftig has been going for these air cross-up fakes, overhead fakes, if you want to call them that, where you jump up and then backdash again to try and bait out interaction. Smitty hasn't been falling for it, but the stagger pressure coming through has been working. That's going to take us to game 5.
I love how Mike Saftig was playing offense there. He was doing an amazing job of of when he was like FD'd out and forced to disengage. he was still maintaining a space where Smitty would probably want to try to maybe air dash out of the corner, or maybe try to air to air him, and he was doing a really good job of trying to respond to the response almost. And even though Smitty respected, even though Smitty was just respecting the whole time and there was no punish at hand, Smitty was still stuck in that corner, and it led to Mike Saftig finding the game-winning hit.
Yeah, Mike Saftig was very happy to engage in all the layers these two have been building up between them throughout this set. But now Smitty trying to create the checkmate scenario once again, a little low on bullets. Does give Mike an opening, catches a backdash, but can't convert off of it quite enough. Here's those layers you were talking about, trying to predict the predictions, trying to respond to the responses. Not going to be quite enough, but the run-up throw, OTG, there it is, 6H, Mike Saftig, 1 away from taking the set.
Yeah, this is looking so good for Mike Saftig right now. Only one more round in the way of victory. And this isn't as strong of a turnaround as versus Idom earlier in the tournament, but this is definitely up there. Smitty, once again, just falling victim to the Mike Saftig momentum train, but starting to get some damage of his own.
Did you see Smitty's fake out there? He acted as if he was about to get a steady aim shot, canceled the stance, went into steady aim again to catch Mike Saftig trying to dash up. After conditioning him with the shot rhythm for 4.5 games, he changes up his rhythm to bait the movement and punish it.
Yep, I love that. Love seeing that late game conditioning stuff, but we are now on the final round. Mike Saftig does have access to burst, but there are a lot of ways that Smitty can structure the offense and the combos to avoid a burst situation, like this situation right here. Mike Saftig is not really going to be able to use that burst to full effectiveness at this spacing, and Smitty is just going to use that curse to full effectiveness. But now Mike Saftig is a little bit closer. There's potentially an opportunity to make something happen. Gotta catch Smitty when he's attempting to reload, gain some space a little bit. What a burst bait on block there, man. And Smitty, I think, is going to be able to finish the round with that 6S. Oh,
not quite.
Not quite enough. Tries to 6-speed the round start, but there's no round start to be 6-speed.
Soul can do this damage. Soul can do this damage, Musty.
Yep. Oh, and the throw.
Taking the risk for the JPs.
Oh, and the YRC comes up. YRC before the burst, and this is a pretty good situation here for Smitty, and the clone comes out, caught the far slash startup, and that is going to be a wrap on the set. Smitty barely clutching it. Mike Saftig almost making that
sheer lined up afterwards. They keep coming.
Yep. Chetoo versus Cheeba. Don't get confused, everybody.
I know I will.
Alright. Cheeba already taking some damage here and a knockdown. Leo probably just going to run it on Goldlewis here. Goldlewis kind of has to take a pretty big risk to get out of Leo pressure. And there's the throw. We were a big risk. Pressure time.
Yeah, chip damage is coming through. Finds one, forces the burst out of Chetoo. Justifan gets a little bit of space. The spacing is interesting in this matchup because Goldlewis is really good at putting out big hitboxes, but Chetoo is really good at responding to hitboxes with guard point and with movement. He's got that quick step dash. So that mid-range, neither of them really want to stay there, but they're both comfortable playing in it for the sake of getting to their advantage condition.
Cross up. Coming through. Getting his plus range, but just not quite in the right spacing. Chetoo taking that pressure now. Gonna get reset to mid-screen. And this is looking a little bit better for Cheeba. Small lead. Just has to try to catch an approach or try to whiff punish Leo in this situation. A little bit hard though, because a lot of Goldlewis's good whiff punish tools are a little bit committal, and you do not want to give Leo an opportunity. Oh my!
The PRC drift back to bait the overdrive, but it doesn't matter because he didn't get in time to try and punish it. He finds a throw though, which gives him an opportunity. He has a wall slump set up. I didn't even expect that. Red RC gives him the round.
Was crazy. Amazing gameplay from Chetoo all around. Like structuring his offense very well, structuring his neutral very well. He got whiff punished 1 or 2 times, but it didn't really lead to anything meaningful. He's mostly just blocking it out. He wasn't just blocking it out of the receiver. Probably just like throwing a couple fuzzy come through there, which we just saw. Cheeba being forced to burst very, very early in that round.
Cross up, doesn't get blocked, looking for the overhead, no, stays low. Conversion, goes for a pressure reset, doesn't need to take the full wall break, that's a good call. Lewis's mid-range is a little bit better than Leo's, get one more interaction off of it, get the super, get the hard knockdown. Doesn't go for a safe jump.
Right now, he's trying to find the end of this round, and he does with the guard point cancel. That is like a really important aspect of this matchup too. Guard point stance is really, really effective against those jump key approaches. It's pretty effective against Behemoth Typhoon, at least the ones that are very useful in neutral. Like in general, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Cheeba to try and deal with it because Goldlewis does not have many reliable lows to be able to challenge that. At least not neutrals, not neutral wise.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of really lingering active hitboxes coming out from Goldlewis. So being able to have that guard point on hand when you expect Goldlewis to be willing to just throw moves out because they're so active is a really good way of having some counterplay.
Yeah.
Same way that FD is so important against Goldlewis, the way we're seeing Chetoo go for now. Finds a whiff punish, gets a bounce, gets a wall bounce, goes for the basketball loops. We're dribbling out here, doesn't quite have enough with the overhead, but it's very close. One more interaction.
Oh, and I think, unfortunately, it looked like Cheeba actually, unfortunately, got the wrong making it there. Probably looking for 684, ending up getting what it looks like was 248, but yeah, that is unfortunate.
Almost as unfortunate as having to spend the burst immediately against someone who wants pressure so much like Leo, but that's okay. Oh, no, it's not. Flash kick comes through. Back turn. Leo's turn. Has the meter. Another cross up. Overhead counter hit is a big starter, but that does scale pretty hard.
Big damage coming through here. Only needs a throw or a couple little hits just to get this over with. Oh, and a throw from Cheeba, not really representing that much. Oh, that's a good counter hit because now we're going to be getting a nice little drone setup, and the gold burst comes out on the gap from Chetoo. Chetoo seems to just know very, very well how to deal with Goldlewis pressure when he can just block it out. When he has to go for something, when he has to block the mix. There's very, very good knowledge all around.
Absolutely. Chetoo using that red RC at the end of that last round caught the opening sequence, that start up of something out of Cheeba. Not sure what was trying to throw out. Probably a Behemoth Typhoon of some sort or another. Finds some pressure, gets a hard knockdown, which means he gets to run his offense. Chetoo looking to fuzzy jump out. He can't find it yet. Flash kick. Is there going to be a cross up? That's back turn pressure.
Go. Yeah, probably. Yeah, honestly, I would reset there too if I was Chetoo. Not really gonna be able to get much off the wall break. So just trying to reset that pressure. Oh wow, and that's one of the most important changes Goldlewis got. The fact that you can trade with him to deal with that drone is so good, and Chetoo taking full advantage of that as he is going to close out the round, close out the set, and wrap it up.
And the guy's sitting there with a medal for DNF around his neck. I'm like, okay, this is the kind of guy I can live with that.
Yeah, you know what? Fair enough, man. That is fair, though. I will say I definitely did get that because both my top 16 matches DQ. But moving on to the set here, Idom versus Cheeba.
Yeah, we got another really, really old archetypal tale as old as time. We got the Zoner going up against the big body. If the big body gets in, the Zoner explodes, but really hard for the big body to get in on the Zoner, especially when a Zoner is piloted by somebody as solid as Idom. He has the reputation he has earned for sure.
Oh, actually, you know, it's funny there. I think honestly, if Cheeba didn't burst, Idom would have probably gotten hit by the Zoner. That's a little unfortunate.
Yeah. Ooh, the tap dust as the click overhead RC to protect yourself in case it was unsafe. Also gives you time to hit confirm, turns into the super, and Cheeba turning neutral into a pressure sequence, chip damage already building up pretty heavily.
Here we go.
Triple overhead on Idom's jump in.
Yeah, I love that setup. So consistent. The fireball afterwards isn't mid, but it does confirm it a 5K on the ground, and the double overhead is honestly more than good enough for a character like that. Oh, and the YRC just a little late. I honestly really respect Idom's decision right there to try and wait it out, but it just hit just a few too many times.
Also, really importantly, Cheeba baiting the burst out of Idom last round means Idom doesn't get any of the burst meter refunded. Might not have a burst this round. If Cheeba can get going, Testament can definitely be touched by Goldlewis, but it might not matter if Idom can close it out before it's a factor. Cheeba already down so low, has burst, has meter, has a security gauge, but can Idom just get it done first?
We got the laser, and this is the tough part. Oh, and you're gonna get a big confirm off of this. Oh, a little too far away, and the OGG 5K gonna knock Idom full screen. What an unfortunate occurrence. Cheeba unfortunately not timing the combo correctly, and that is gonna lead to an Idom game 1.
Yeah, pretty resounding victory. This isn't that difficult of a matchup for Testament, so this is kind of an expected value, but Cheeba definitely showed signs of life. This is another burst that Idom has taken away for free. Cheeba getting all this damage down, butter being churned on this overdrive, damage coming through, hard knockdown gives Cheeba all the time in the world to approach.
Catches the backdash with the minigun. That was so smart from Cheeba there, and yeah, probably just gonna counter hit there. Honestly, at that point, the round was mostly forfeit for Idom, but hopefully Idom can get a better start for his sake.
From the crow apply. Ooh, good burst on the stain proc. Cheeba saying, I am not willing to let you carry me all the way to the wall. I see how that ended last time. I'm not a fan. Stain applied again. Tap dust, and the stain proc gets the wall splat confirmed into the overdrive. This super does reapply stain, so it's a safe jump and a stain proc. Nope, decides to go for the EXE beast. With the positive bonus, this is so hard to approach, but Cheeba using the RC out of the air to fling himself in Idom's direction. Doesn't matter though. The super on the reversal.
Super smart from Idom there. Actually, another bar behind it to make sure that they wouldn't even get punished for it, so maybe so. Oh, and a 6P, but not at close enough range for the 6A4 to connect, and now Idom is going to get his started. And he's going to go for wall break here, get that stain applied, and now there has to be a decent amount of play here from Cheeba, unless you got a big old laser.
Ooh, runs underneath Cheeba, and then throws him back in the corner, playing the spacing and positioning game so well, has a full grip of meter. Cheeba had to burst there. That was such a precarious position with all of that meter. Idom could have enforced any sort of pressure he wanted.
There we go, the super should absolutely connect here, and this is another game on the board for XSET on Idom. One more game to move on to top 8 to the semis.
Idom has really good use of teleport as well. Setting out the crow when in the corner means that that's another option for escape when Cheetah's putting the pressure on. 2K2D as an escape tool on the Abare is really solid too. Ooh, the call out on the teleport kept track of where the crow was sitting so that when Idom tried to use it as an escape tool like I was just talking about, anti-airs with the Behemoth Typhoon for massive damage. One more hit will do it. There it is.
Yep, and yeah, it's actually going to get chipped out there. But Idom, once again, has dropped rounds in the set before. Well, actually, almost, I think every game in the set so far has been round 3. So Idom just needs to simply not explode here, and I think he will be fine. But Cheeba, the pressure started, but an amazing system from Idom to drop back. And now we have the brutal game, which as we were talking about earlier, not favorable.
Uses the RC out of the air tactic again as an approach tool. Ooh, burst does not get anything going. Air to air coming out of Cheeba gets around on the board. That's 1-2.
Yeah, I think Idom actually did try to go for 6P there, but at that point, like, Goldlewis was so deep that it just hit the toes anyway.
Right.
Good stuff. Idom, once again, immediately forced to spend burst. That is not going to be a good look. He was able to find a hit. Speaking of burst, Cheeba's is baited immediately by Idom's burst in combo.
Ooh, I'm not sure why the XE Beast didn't land there.
Yeah, so Arbiter Sign actually has like it has dead zones. Like it can't track all the way full screen, and it can't track right next to you. So I think Idom was just a little bit too close for that combo to connect. But amazing 6 to force out of this corner, placing the fireballs on the screen, making it so difficult for Cheeba to find a way to move around. Still, one more hit is necessary to get this kill. The Arbiter Sign low will be enough. Another round on the board for Idom. One more, and he will move on in this bracket.
Yeah, Cheeba using the 6H there as it does have a little bit of forward momentum. Trying to catch out a hitbox, but ends up getting an Arbiter Sign on the toes to close the round out instead. Puts Idom in the corner, but seems to be pretty comfortable there. backdash to avoid the Behemoth Typhoon, but the whiff on the Crow gives Cheeba a chance in. The chip damage racks up quick.
Oh, and WoW calls out the Arbiter sign immediately. That BRC Behemoth has gotten Cheeba a lot of mileage. Idom is not really prepared for that option in the mid-range. It comes out so quick, and if Goldlewis gets a hit, he either gets a full combo or knocked down in the zone, and both are incredibly deadly.
Yeah, great reactions coming out of Cheeba here too. Reacting to the teleport with the throw, but Idom's Gold Burst gets a lot of opportunities here. The damage coming through with the Arbiter Sign in conjunction with the Overdrive. Safe jump goes low. Would have procced the Stain, but Cheeba decided it was time to burst. Probably a good decision, but doesn't matter too much because Idom able to reestablish pressure immediately to 6P anti-air. Quick conversion, nice and simple. Hit confirm, not too difficult, means Idom takes it. I believe that was
into Happy Chaos, because Happy Chaos is probably going to try to RPS in those condition-based situations. So not having to deal with that, definitely helpful when you need to just make sure this character is not allowed to play neutral with you.
Yeah, this whole interaction was starting off with the Leo 2K, just like you mentioned earlier.
Oh yeah, here comes cross-up.
We already see Smitty going for those instant blocks, trying to create more favorable situations, try and get more punishes where they wouldn't be available otherwise. More just defense coming through. Smitty really liking that option in this, and I think that's a good idea. There's a lot of things that are difficult to punish from Leo if you either react too slowly or the spacing doesn't work out. Using those just defense makes it just a little bit easier.
So once again, having the corner, Smitty without burst, okay, been finding a way out.
There's that wall-to-wall carry, goes for the resets again like we saw in the previous set, but Chetoo able to escape with a backdash. Hit confirms into an overdrive, means that's a free approach after the wall break. Stagger pressure coming through. Doesn't hit confirm the super, which means Smitty can run free right now.
Yeah, that's a little bit lucky for Smitty here. Yeah, and the super, just to get that wall break, just to get that damage and that positive bonus. And that is another note too. Happy Chaos's damage, not the highest in the cast, so if you have a gutsy character like Leo could be able to survive a lot of those situations. And yeah, here we go.
The throw after the PRC closes it out. Closes just that little bit of distance that wasn't covered by the dash block. Also noteworthy, Leo is a heavy character, so Smitty doing a good job of accounting for that in the combo routing.
Oh, and that's something that I didn't even take note of before the set, is that you can definitely use guard point stance to deal with options like steadying.
Yeah, that is true.
Hitting projectile, having access to that means you can kind of slowly work your way into neutral, and Smitty has to think a little bit about how to zone out, even though Leo is a bit slower of a character on the ground.
Okay, we can see what Chetoo was going for there. Using an approaching button to take out the clone, and then PRC to go through and try and chain into something that can actually hit Heavy Chaos themselves. Very good technique to deal with clone, something available to most characters, but Smitty doing a good job of covering that option and counter-attacking when Chetoo was trying to get through. Leads to all of this advantage. Clone PRC is also really hard to deal with for most people, but Chetoo finding a way, finding this pressure, finding the RC. Smitty saves the burst, keep it for the next round. Stuffing out with a 2K from Smitty. Anything you can do at round start, I can do, if not better, at least as well.
Oh, kind of this dash 2E. Such a quick burst option for Leo, even though it is punishable on block, it is so quick you're not going to be able to you're not going to stop it this time. Chetoo getting the burst out of Smitty. Oh, and crossing up. Okay, honestly, not a terrible trade for Smitty. Gets out of a background situation in a combo that might have led to a kill. Speaking of a combo that will lead to a kill, this one absolutely will, and that is a 2-0 lead. Oh no, that's just 3-0.
I think that's 2-0, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew that the duel one.
I got mixed by the scoreboard.
Yeah, I also see that. No big deal though. We do have game number 3 here, and Smitty getting off to a little bit of a better start. Oh,
Until the 2D counter hit comes out. Here comes that corner pressure, and something that's been really important is that every time Chetoo has gotten an opportunity, it's led to big damage and usually a wall break. He's done a really good job of capitalizing every time he's in an advantage state. And Smitty doing the same, getting this wall break, refilling all of the resources. Can have a full bar of meter pretty soon here. But doesn't get the safe jump properly.
He just knows exactly what Smitty wants in these situations. Great air-to-air. Smitty gonna push Leo back to that mid-screen. A little bit low on resources here. Spends the meter to get the concentration back. Middle reload. Here we go. Yeah, and the super is gonna come out. Pow.
Deus Ex Machina closing it out. One of the best animations in the game, in my opinion. I really, really love the way that super looks.
You be shooting the guns. Honestly,
Indeed.
I agree.
All right, we had footsies for a second, but you know that's over now. That's not what we do here.
No, it is not. Running the mix. Smitty getting that clone out in front of him. Oh, but the fireball, another really good important part of this matchup. Even though fireball can get stuck by steady aim, if you call out that clone summon, the fireball hits multiple times, so it'll go past it.
5D doesn't convert too much. It was in mid-screen, so kind of hard to convert to too much. Execution check for Smitty. Takes the reload opportunity. Chetoo has a lot of meter, so can use it on FDs if they want, but instead has been going for just defends on the approach, which is really difficult.
Dash to the RC into throw. So smart from Chetoo, just covering all of that space instantaneously, and now we are on potentially a final round of the set. Smitty cannot bounce back here. Already down, a burst, needs to get it out of Chetoo without getting bursted away. You do not want to give Chetoo a chance.
Smitty deciding not to give Chetoo that chance by taking the reset in the corner, but Chetoo's defense is impregnable. Smitty not finding a way to open him up, has not gone for the overhead yet. Takes the throw, looking for a guard point, but didn't quite find it.
Oh, hits the steady aim, and this is completely for a safe. This will just come out, and we are going to again. Good clutch. Oh my god, I am so wrong. I am just the worst. Will it kill? I did. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, the double tap at the round start after the super for Happy Chaos, a very, very safe and reliable way to try and close a round out there. Expecting one shot, you go for a shot into the curse, into another not steady aim shot. It's pretty safe way to get a quick little 1-2 punch. So speaking of 1-2, that is also our score. How serendipitous.
Oh, nice. Yeah, alright. It looks like Smitty's coming down neutral a little bit more after getting that initial burst off, slowly building the damage up on Cheeba.
I feel like Smitty's being a little greedy with the reloads. There have been a lot of times throughout the set where they've been on 1 or 2 bullets, and they try and refill to a full grip of bullets, which gives Chetoo so much time to approach because those step dashes are so quick. That said, being down to 0 bullets isn't much better either.
Reloads here. Summoning the clone, that was such a smart way to get the bullets back using the BRC to be safe as well. Super smart play from Smitty. Oh, but that is going to be such a big hit if Chetoo finds us one more opening. Never mind 2 more, never mind 3 more. Oh,
that works that way?
Yup.
Leo's parry can hit Roman cancels?
Yep, it can hit YRC.
Okay.
It's a very hard call out, but Chetoo is just ready, and now Smitty potentially on winner's bracket life. Has to find a way to open up Chetoo here, but his defense has been so good throughout the entirety of this set.
Yeah, Smitty has just not been able to open Chetoo up. Even with the crossovers with the roll through, it's just been really, really easy, really comfortable on Chetoo's side for the defense throughout this entire set. Plus frames on the overhead, baits the burst, has enough meter to dump into a super. This isn't going to kill, but it's going to be a hard knockdown. Has all the time in the world to approach. Double overhead into a cross-up on the Swyhander is going to be Chetoo going into grand finals on winner's side over Smitty. Smitty going to be down in losers finals, taking on the winner of Idom.
To get the reverse sweep, we'll see what Idom is going to be able to change here. Maybe
Yeah.
shoot that out.
remember that in the last set, Mike Saftig got a lot of mileage out of neutral skips with Vortex and Bandit Bringer by avoiding Crow and Fireballs. So we're going to have to see if Idom's going to have a way around that neutral skipping ability in the run back, or if Mike Saftig is going to get as much mileage out of that as last time. Right now, Arbiter's Sign is going to get a convincing win for Idom coming out of the gate.
Yeah, already Idom looking like he changed a lot of representing far slash a lot more in that midstream. Now it could be a little dangerous once Mike Saftig catches onto that and starts going for more vortexes. But Idom seems to be playing the neutral circle really well right now. Not committing to a fireball, not committing to anything at that far range because he knows what Mike Saftig wants. He wants one thing, and it's freaking disgusting.
It is absolute violence. We're seeing Idom after every Bandit Bringer going for 2K 2D. Mike Saftig usually trying to backdash those, but not always at the proper spacing. Here's going to be a hit confirmed Nostrovia. Run up for a little extra damage, get the wall break, get the positive bonus. But a Volcanic Viper means Mike Saftig resets back to neutral.
Right there, and Idom, I think, will lose life on this one.
Not
The
quite
Gunflame,
enough.
not enough. 1 HP.
Look for the reversal super.
Oh,
Doesn't matter, a 2K hit confirmed into a Roman cancel, and he had to burst. He had to burst. You were about to die. You have to try, but it doesn't matter. You're gonna cry. Idom takes the first game of the set.
that was such a solid combo for the end of the game. Notice that the burst was about to come back and kept it completely burst safe for routing. Amazing stuff from Idom.
Yeah, and like you were saying, Idom probably had an adaptation on hand for how to deal with the Volcanic Viper, rather the Vortex for the neutral skip. We're seeing Idom is going for a lot more 2Ks, a lot more blocking after throwing out throw, and a lot more backdashes. So finding ways around those neutral skips and around the evasion for Mike Saftig has already gotten Idom a lot of momentum in this set.
I'm really liking too from Idom is like after Idom gets successfully knocked Mike Saftig away, instead of committing to Crow after throwing out the fireball, Idom is just kind of standing there and just either waiting for the vortex or just holding his ground. And Mike Saftig is kind of biting at the bait a little bit, and it is definitely working out in Idom's favor.
Yeah, Idom, I think the word of the game so far is patience. Been really, really patient, really methodical. As I say that, Mike Saftig finds his way in on a Vortex and says, patience is for blockers. This is Guilty Gear, not Street Fighter. I'm here to attack.
A little bit. Mike Saftig trying to find his way with his jumps now. Now noticing that Vortex isn't working, we're seeing a lot more items in. But honestly, those are pretty ineffective against Idom, who is mostly just kind of like reacting to the That was such a hard call out right there, and now Mike Saftig has to make some crazy adjustments here.
Yeah, there were 2 callouts in a row. Mike Saftig has been representing the Vortex a lot, so Idom says, I'm just going to 2K to stuff your approach, and then after that works, calls out the DP with a throw. So Idom is in Mike Saftig's head right now.
Crow anti-air. Nice DP from Mike Saftig, though. Catches the backdash. Idom has been a little bit of a backdasher all night. And representing that success is definitely going to make Idom respect a little bit more.
Yeah, right after I say Idom is in Mike's head, Mike comes back with a nice read of his own on the DP into the conversions. Seeing the aerial movement coming out of Idom. That Mike Saftig representing the backdash again after the Bandit Bringers, but Idom able to find it this time with a 2K, throw on the follow-up. And pressure sequence coming in with the tick throw after the stain proc. Mike Saftig ready for it though, able to find pressure of his own, staggering in the corner. Idom has Meteor, watch for the reversal, watch for YRC. That risk is really high. Idom has burst though.
Yep, okay. Getting out of the corner there. And the double overhead is going to connect. All you need to do is super here. The wall splat is there, so the burst does not matter. And that is going to be the end of game number 2. Idom once again taking a 2-0 lead in the set. Now it is once again up to Mike Saftig to do the reverse sweep. I don't know if it's going to happen this time, though. Idom seems to be playing this matchup way more solidly this time.
Yeah, Idom was so composed in the face of all of Mike Saftig's pressure in that last sequence. It's really easy to get antsy, to use your YRC, to use your meter to try and Abare out of that situation when it's looking really overwhelming. But Idom willing to say, I believe in my defense, willing to react, willing to just play solid, take your opportunity when you get it. Counter hit coming through on the Volcanic Viper, puts him in the corner though. Mike Saftig trying to find opportunity, but Idom able to just jump out.
Yeah, Idom mostly adjusting the pressure. It looks like, honestly, I'd say it looks like Mike Saftig is getting desperate, but this is mostly what he does in neutral anyway. So I'm honestly wondering, there's definitely some thought at play here, and potentially a final round situation. Only one more round for Idom to take this set 3-0, but this is where Mike Saftig shines in these comeback situations.
Ooh, the counter hit after the vortexing 2H. That's one of those things that buff affords you. It gets you closer to your opponent, so you have more opportunities to go for things like frame traps and resets. 2K after the teleport finds a Stain Proc burst, puts Mike Saftig to half-life, doesn't have a bar. Idom does, puts him in the corner, but can't find the super to break the wall. Mike Saftig has one more chance.
No, we're out of here. He left. He's gone.
Real shoopity whoop.
The shoop up it up. Oh, and that should lead to a kill here. The Nostrovia going to come out. Super going to connect. And yeah, this is 100% going to be a wall break. That is a 3-0 for Idom.
Idom on the Testament. This is a strange matchup where both of them are usually playing the zoning game, or at least capable of it. But in this one, someone's got to be the beatdown, to use Magic the Gathering terms. So it's a relatively awkward matchup sometimes.
Yeah, and this matchup is a little bit interesting because like this is one of those matchups where like at that full screen distance I actually don't think Testament has the advantage, but in that mid screen it's very hard for Happy Chaos to actually get anything started. I don't know, you don't have that many opportunities to pull the gun out when you're blocking projectiles like this.
Ooh, a 5D tap gets a counter hit, forces Smitty to burst. Idom has Meteor to wait out all of these shots. And like you were saying, Testament does really, really well at that mid-range, so you don't need to get as far in on Happy Chaos as most other characters do. So if you're playing a Soul, right, you got to get into like close slash range. Idom doesn't need to do that, doesn't need to get up in Happy Chaos's face.
Starter, so one more hit is going to be necessary here for Smitty. Gets blocked by Idom here.
I love the decision to use the Crow for the teleport instead of for the Stain application. It's really important to be able to get up in Happy Chaos's face at least a little. I mean, you don't need to do it as much as a lot of other characters, but you do need to do it a bit. And being able to respond to the roll through with the throw for the punish, equally important. You need to be on point against Happy Chaos, and Idom is showing he absolutely is.
Yeah, no, that was a really, really good call out from Idom right there. Calling out that mix-up is really important because then Happy Chaos can try to keep it more airtight or go for more 5 gunshots like that. Him changing his options in the circle that you want him to, it will absolutely be to your benefit. But right now, Idom taking up some big damage here. Point. There we go. Around on the board.
All of that from Idom trying to punish a whiffed 5D and Smitty being able to counter hit with a shot to cover it. Yep. That entire round was determined by Smitty having a bullet to press heavy slash and not get whiff punished. Triple overhead.
And an IVFD on the 2D trying to create that. Yeah, good burst, good burst. The Strawberry is still going to be out, so you are going to have to block it and gain that stain. But you are at least not wall broken with a hard knockdown.
Yeah, I like also Idom going for the double Arbiter sign, one low and then high to keep the mid-screen pressure on Smitty. It doesn't matter, Smitty finding a way out of the corner, finding a way to get pressure rolling, look for the roll. No cross-up coming through yet. Idom finds a way to fight out too. Teleport up into Smitty's face. Run up at him. Long a spacing game. Only one bullet left. Concentration is relatively low. Idom trying to crank risk with the triple overhead. Finds a Roman cancel to open up Smitty. Takes game 1.
Looking pretty good for Idom here. A bit of a blow up in that second round, but brought it back together for the final. And now moving on to game 2, Idom immediately with the counter hit 2S. In general, Idom has just been playing this game so good. and making it really difficult for Smitty to get that steady aim out. And once that steady aim's out, it's harder for Testament, but if you keep the pressure up and make it so Smitty has to repeatedly block in these situations, you're not going to see a gun come out because you can block when the gun is out, and you're not going to see a steady aim because you do not have the time or space to do so.
All right, we see Smitty's risk is up a good bit, forced to burst. I think that's a good call. We see Idom had meter to convert out of that combo. Smitty probably would have lost the round if not for that burst. Ooh, there was no connection on that fireball meaty, so Idom was free to run up. Smitty was not in block stun, so get to close out the round with a throw instead.
Great stuff from Idom there. Oh, yeah, I think trying to bait burst there for Smitty. Unfortunately, Idom did not fight, and now has to get in again with another potential of being bursted out again.
All right, watch the bullets. We've seen Smitty a couple times be a little too aggressive with the bullet usage and a little too greedy trying to refill. 6H doesn't convert as hard as it can for Idom, but that's okay. Pushing Smitty into the corner. Stain is applied. PRC allows for the anti-air when Smitty tries to escape. We're back to full screen. Look at the bullets, though. Just what I was saying. Smitty has had a lot of problems managing the bullets tonight.
Yeah, this is a terrible situation to be in now because, like, without the ability to pull out the gun, there really is nothing to stop Idom from running this pressure here. Yeah. And yeah, just not even a burst going to come out here.
Did you see? Okay, very important thing at the end there. Really, really heads up play from Idom. 5K, link to 5K, link to 6H. Keeps the spacing really, really far so that even if Smitty burst, Idom would still be able to punish the burst and close the round out. Really, really smart play from Idom there at the end.
There's also a big risk of Idom jump canceling one of the 5Ks too.
Yeah, good point.
That first stage, which might be why Smitty actually did not go for the forced burst there because they were going to be from Idom. Does not happen. Idom gets the game. Not going to get this round now, as Idom is going to get put through a wall. Very, very quick. Happy chaos round right there.
Yeah, just as I'm praising Idom's heads up smart play, Smitty absolutely annihilates the man. But you know what? That happens sometimes. Happy chaos be like that.
Yep. I mean,
It's true. We do be striving. Idom trying to find a way in here, has the curse on him, finds a lot of distance to cover, and when we were talking about how Smitty has often had to reload many bullets at one time, Idom again doesn't have to close as much distance as other characters, so every time Smitty has to use that time to manage resources, Idom gets more benefit out of it than most characters do.
Idom, pretty bad defensive situation here. Smitty has gotten much more consistent offense this game, but we'll see if Idom can reset the neutral once again. Forced to use that burst. This is going to be a pretty clutch round for Idom. Got a great speed from Smitty, and one more doink should do it, and that is going to be Smitty getting a game on the board here.
Yeah, it's going to be 1-2. A couple things that just didn't quite go the way Idom wanted. Wasn't finding as many anti-airs, wasn't finding as many reads that landed. That's okay. Smitty gets one on the board. Idom with a delayed burst high in the air. Oftentimes that would whiff, but delayed just enough to make it actually land on the way down. Smitty getting shoved back into the corner. Idom finding lots and lots of 2K 2Ds landing this set. Nostrovia coming through, reapplies the stain. Smitty at 50%. Idom has momentum. A 2K on the jump in into a 2Ds, procs the stain. Smitty forced to use the burst there, otherwise Idom with that meter would have been able to close it out. 6P counter hit should be able to close it out. No, not quite.
No, this is Idom's got to find a way to finish here because Smitty is now fighting a chance to run this offense. Has a bar available, which means we are going to be seeing that super through the wall. Boom. Even game now. Hard knockdown for Smitty. 2 bars available though for Idom though. If we get a mix-up, I will not be surprised to see a YRC, and we do. Oh, YRC.
Looks for an air-to-air, doesn't quite find it. Ooh, the crow lands. Quick pop on the stain from a 2K. Idom 1 away from taking the set, getting into grands. Smitty's resources are full from the round. Burst might be available by the end of the round too if Idom manages to find the pressure. But right now, Idom's just getting zoned out. Smitty goes in.
Good for Smitty right now, but a counter hit far, so that's going to help gap just a little bit. Fireball. More pressure.
Fishing for 2Ks. We've got a lot of mileage for Idom so far. Smitty changing up the timing on those steady aim shots a little bit, taking a little bit more time, trying to throw off Idom's rhythm, now going back to being quick. Boom, boom, pop, pop, one apiece.
Bang, bang, pow, pow. Yeah, and that's going to be another round. Smitty needs these rounds to stay in this set and take us to game number 5. Oh, representing throw. Okay, this is a good time for the throw. If you start representing it late in the game, Idom get that throw check. That being said, though, Idom coming from the first throw game itself, so gotta be wary of that.
Bursts are down, so no one's gonna be able to reset again, short of a YRC. Idom might be looking for it pretty soon off Smitty's pressure. A lot of damage coming through, can probably carry this all the way to the wall, goes for a reset. Anti-air? No, just defends though, does give Idom a punish with a 2K2D. Counter hit on the 2D. Stain Pop doesn't quite get enough distance covered with the dash up, but with the Nostrovia, is this going to be enough damage? It might just be a little shy.
It will be shy, and there's a bar available for Smitty. Has to be careful with YRC here.
Ooh, looked for the air-to-air, but didn't commit to it. YRC was out of range. Idom with Testament at that range, so we'll see if Leo and Chetoo can get in well enough, or if Idom zoning is going to be able to take him to a victory. Here we go, grand finals. Chetoo off to the races already, forcing Idom to burst.
Yeah, and this matchup not bad for Testament though. So once again, Testament's just one of those characters where if you're running up against a rushdown mixed-based character that can dish out a decent amount of damage, obviously to get more time it's gonna be a little bit rough. But Leo does struggle a little bit against this class of zoning, so we'll see what Idom.
Yeah, I'm not a good enough player at either of these characters to be able to say with confidence, but this feels like a very just strong character versus strong character matchup. Both of these players are playing characters that both they're just very, very capable in a confident pilot's hands. Chetoo coming out swinging with confidence in the game one just like he needs to. Going up 1 over Idom already.
Absolutely. Good start for Chetoo here. Idom still not having that first back yet. But, oh, and yeah, there is a small gap between 2K and 2D for Testament, so that flash kick can definitely come out and be a factor. So now Idom even has to condition
the shimmy.
Yeah, it's such a good shimmy. Once again, getting the burst out from Idom. It was successful, but right now it's just looking so tough for Idom to build the damage fast enough to prevent Chetoo from just taking the round off of one interaction.
Stain applied over and over. Teleport out of the corner to proc the Stain forces Chetoo to burst. Idom has that meter. Chetoo just about does. There it is. A bar apiece. Chetoo's willing to play the fireball game. Says, my fireball's just as strong as yours, if not stronger, because it can go through them. I'm going to use that to follow up and take my turn, enforce my offense, break the wall, get the round. That's 1-0 in his favor.
What I love here from Chetoo specifically is that he's doing an amazing job of baiting a throw tech from Idom. Like, almost every close slash has led to a situation where Idom is trying to tech a throw, and it just does not pan out. Oh boy.
This Chetoo up 2-0 in the set. Idom gonna have to reverse sweep this to reset the bracket and then go for another set. Chetoo in a very strong position. You never want to be 0-2 before a reset. Chetoo coming out strong already. Mix into a back turn mix-up, forces Idom to burst. Finds the neutral interaction win with the slash. Chetoo goes for a reset instead of getting the wall break. Whiffs a throw, doesn't even matter. Finds a 6P counter hit. Confirms into 1 round away from winning tonight's tournament.
Yeah, Idom definitely struggling there. Not sure what that air throw was. Might have been an accident. Either way, it is going to lead Chetoo being up around on potentially the final game of the night and potentially Idom's final tournament round. What are we going to see here? Nice throw. Liking that.
Yeah, it's a very good way to get around Leo's defenses, right? Flash kick and guard point are both countered by throw, so going for a tick throw after the stain proc. Very wise, finds a stain proc off the 5D, confirms it to Nostrovia. I don't think this is going to kill, but it'll be close. Oh, not quite too close. Still a good 10%, but Idom in a very healthy position. Finds stain procs, keep up with the 2K. 5D tap dust.
Love to see it from Idom. Idom uses more tap dust than I think any other Testament I've ever seen in my life.
And it's working.
It is in fact working. And now Idom getting this pressure sequence started and keeping it airtight too. That is definitely nice to note because there's definitely been a lot of defensive adjustments where Idom does not want to take any risks. And honestly, this position is almost better. Having this zoning position with Chetoo at almost full screen with staying applied, you really cannot go wrong here.
Idom is really fishing for Stain 2K hit confirms. Looks like Chetoo is starting to catch on, really keying off of the low defense. Chetoo's got the loops.
Yep, not going to have any meter to wall break with Super though, which means Idom gets to play neutral once again. Trades with the far slash, and now we're back to it. Stain applied. Once again, tough for Chetoo, but has burst available. Idom needs to finish this off quick before they potentially go. Oh, and what a burst bait and all. It seems that Idom needed was a game off stream to make the adjustments. And there we go, Idom getting a game in the set. 2-1 lead for Chetoo still, but Idom showing that he is no slouch.
Yeah, if Idom's going to make this comeback, it's going to have to be around the Stain proc minigame, right? These two are playing a lot of mind games there between hit confirming 2K and knowing that that's the primary layer 1 approach from Idom means Chetoo is blocking low. Idom going for tick throws and for the tap 5 dust as the adaptation on the layer 2. So that's going to be the linchpin of how Idom can come back in this set. Chetoo doing a really good job reacting to the teleport earlier with the throw. Finds a shimmy into a counter hit 2K, gets pressure going, cross up.
Good for Idom right now, and then there's another pressure reset. I believe this hit will kill. If you can find it, but the frame trap, Idom not gonna bite. And this is a good situation for Idom now. Even though pushed all the way in the corner, there is very little ways that Leo can be able to consistently get in on Idom in this situation.
Hero burst!
Hero burst! Oh, but the jumping actually connects, and there is a bar available, which means Idom is 100% dead. The hero burst was worth it for the first time that I ever seen. Jesus.
Off of the back of a hero burst, final hit on the Tekken 7 Harada care. Chetoo bets the farm and finds the win on the round, putting himself one away yet again from the tournament win. Idom's got him in the corner though, got his burst behind himself for defense. Now he's got a bar, looking for hit confirms. Doesn't find the two though. Chetoo finds the air to air.
And once again, Idom doing a great job at zoning, but now I think Chetoo's starting to find a little bit of ways in by just doing dash jump forward here and throwing out that JH, and it's definitely doing wonders.
Watch the burst timing. Watch the burst timing.
Oh, has to do it there. Yep.
Teleporting. UK2D. It's been the Idom special.
Ooh,
Shimmy. Let's Chetoo get away with the backdash PRC.
I appreciate that from Idom actually just backing off after the bait, knowing that Chetoo wants to go for that PRC and making sure that he wastes the meter, because not having that meter means he can kind of pressure a little bit more now, and he has to think a little bit more about flash kicks, because he is definitely in death range if he gets blocked. Oh, and that's a counter hit close slash just like that. Probably was predicting a throw from Idom. Gets counter hit close slash. And Chetoo,
any of these counter pokes that Itachi's Legacy is throwing out. Wow, the patience to wait for the kite, but still comes down with a button. Does Itachi's Legacy? Are we going to stay same side? Yes, we are. We're going to go for the throw on the reset. A second throw? That was going to be 3.
Yes. You always go for 3.